Welcome to the Sonny and Cher pod. It's just CJ and I this week, so no paddle update from Alex, but he's very happy. He sent us a nice little voice note, which will come up on the pod at some point, about Wimbledon. I think confirmed they're staying up. They've won their relegation battle. I think there's a mathematical possibility that they're 99% safe. But this week we will be talking about some League Two action with York City and the National League, Champions League roundup, and of course we'll be bringing you the key battle reviews as well as all the latest and greatest with the head-to-head league. How are you doing, CJ?
Yeah, good mate. Good mate, thanks. Been a good week actually on the sporting front over here. So I'm actually wearing the top tonight. So
Nice.
My team for Celtic, we got to our third semi-final in a row on at the weekend.
Congrats.
So we won the final 2 years ago, lost on penalties last year, and so the team we played in the final last year are I've said before, the Man City of Wexford, but in the semi-finals it was us, them, and two other Premiership teams, and we drew them in the semi-finals. Bit of a bittersweet one. If we win, like, we've got a right chance, but it's gonna be tough to get to the semi-final. But yeah, we've done well. We've had a good cup run, and we're actually playing them in the league as well Sunday, so we've still in a chance to win the leagues. All to play for. The body is still hanging on, mate, just about.
Well, good luck, man. You'll have to let us know next week how it goes. But,
yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, definitely good luck. There's been some, like, a lot of crazy games over the last couple of weeks that we're going to talk about. Let's start with the National League. It was York City versus Rochdale, wasn't it? I don't know too much about it other than there was some drama in the 103rd minute or something. Did you catch that? What happened?
Oh, mate. Well, if anyone actually seen what was happening in the National League, York City were on 107 points and Rochdale were on 105 points after 45 games.
Right.
And somehow they were playing each other the last game of the season. So I think actually a couple of games before that, like, Rochdale scored a last-minute winner a couple of times to keep themselves in it. But basically what needed to happen was Rochdale needed to win, obviously, and York City needed just a draw. I think the game was pretty mediocre, obviously pretty cagey, but Rochdale actually scored in the 95th minute to make it 1-0. And obviously all their fans and everything came on the pitch, which was mad. So they came on the pitch, and then obviously it took the stewards and stuff so long to take them off. There was obviously I think it was only 6 minutes of added time. So if they'd have just celebrated, got back, I think the ref would have probably blown. Anyway, I think it played till like the 103rd minute, and York City went up the other end. It was like a fucking goalmouth scramble, and then the York City striker just literally popped to him about a yard out, and he smashed it, and it hit one of the Rochdale lads on the line, and it looked like it was over the line, and the linesman gave it, so they equalised in the 103rd minute to take the league title and obviously get promoted to League Two, which was absolutely obscene. But just a little shout out, because their striker Ollie Pearce is one of my brother's friends from school, so we actually went to school with him. So he used to play for Bognor Regis and Worthing, and then went to York City a couple of years ago. But he's a top goal scorer this year in the National League again. That's 2 in a row, I think, with 34 goals and 9 assists. But absolutely obscene about that. But I just wanted to pick your brain, mate, because obviously for the National League, only one team gets automatic promotion, and 2 teams obviously get promoted, but I think then second and third go in straight into the semi-finals of the playoffs, and then 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, I think, go into like the prelim before that. So Rochdale, even though they scored 106 points throughout 46 games, which is insane, might not even go up. So I just don't know. Is there any sort of, do you think they should change it from 2 coming down from League Two to 3 and give it 2 automatic promotions? I think the National League is probably one of the hardest leagues to get out of in world football, I would say.
Well, that was going to be my question. Is with Rochdale? I mean, they're not. So they have to go into the playoffs having drawn that game. Only a win would have seen them automatically promoted. So they have to go through the playoffs now, do they? That does seem especially cruel. Mate, I don't know. I don't know too much about the lower leagues, and I should get more into it because there's obviously loads of drama and good quality football there at the bottom, the echelons. So only two teams get relegated as well. I suppose that's why they have to only do one auto. Yeah, they should probably just sack. There's a bit of a debate about this is in our league as well, whether to sack off the playoffs altogether.
Yeah,
so I know. Kind of mirrors that, doesn't it? Like, should National League and Sonny and Cher both sack off playoffs? We'll have to hold more votes over the coming months because I know there's been a few suggestions. The playoffs always add an element of drama. And sort of level the playing field, I suppose, because you've got 4 or 5 teams from the top end of the table competing for that final spot. But yeah, that does. If Rochdale don't go, you'd have to probably. I mean, I don't know anything about them, but you'd have to say that's a bit unjust, isn't it? And 6 points,
mad,
and potentially not getting promoted is insane.
No, it's ridiculous. I think when Wrexham did it sort of 3 or 4 years ago, they went up with 111. And I think Notts County had a similar figure to Rochdale, about 107. Like Notts County, luckily, did go up from the playoffs there, and they were definitely the best 2 teams in the league. So I really do hope Rochdale do go up. But like you said, the playoffs are just a complete lottery. Then I think I don't know what the mentality would be like to having, but pretty much in your head, we're getting promoted to League Two, to then within the space of 2 or 3 minutes to think. We've got to go back into the playoffs. Because I saw some interviews with the York City players, and one bloke was like, it went from the worst fucking day of my life to the best day of my life in like in the space of 2 or 3 minutes. But absolutely, I think it's just an absolute credit to the standard of the National League nowadays. I think the top sort of half of the National League is pretty much, I think, the standard of it's very, very good. And even sort of Conference South and things now, it's getting really, really competitive. I think that's why I think they potentially should change that 2 down from League 2 to 3, because it's limiting those teams getting up. Because like if one automatic promotion is crazy. I know what's really good about it, it does go down to 7th place for the playoffs, which I do quite like, because it still gives 7 or 8, 9, 10 teams still loads of things to play for till the end. But I think if this keeps happening with the amount of points and 2 teams going toe to toe, they're going to have to look at it in a few years, because it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. But
psychologically, that must have such an impact on you for Rochdale as well, because you're 2 minutes away, 2 minutes away from auto promotion, and then you have to kind of like get yourself in the mindset of like, no, this isn't done. We've got to go again. And they're not like top level players, are they? They're, like in that, wouldn't they be like part-time plumbers and stuff or stuff at that?
I think the National League, most of them are pro clubs, but I think all of them are actually pro clubs. I think when it gets to Conference South, you'd have half pro, half semi-pro. But
gotcha. So I suppose as a professional, you just got to pick yourself up and go again. But like, I wouldn't. if I was a Rochdale player, I'd be like, fuck this.
It'd be so tough. It'd be so tough because you've got. The good thing is they're straight into the semis, thank God. So they've only got to win 1 game to get into that playoff final, but they've still got to win 2.
Oh, still another 2 games, is it? 180 minutes of football where you've just got to like absolutely go for it when you think you've done it, and
I think who won? So I think it was Maidenhead won. No, not Maidenhead. Scunthorpe won the other night in one of the playoffs. One of the quarterfinals, and Scunthorpe beat Southend 1-0 on Tuesday night, and then Boreham Wood beat Forest Green on penalties. So it's Rochdale against Scunthorpe, and then Carlisle against Boreham Wood in the semi-final.
Wow.
So,
well, I'm rooting for Rochdale just purely because they. I mean that point level, like that amount of points, they probably deserve to go up, don't they? Were they like cut adrift from the rest of the league? Like who was in third on?
I'll just look now, but I think they were. I can't believe they obviously thought before they did the before the season those two would be up there at the end of the year to set that fixture at the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that luck or was that design?
Yeah, so it was, York City 108, Rochdale 106. Yeah, Carlisle were third with 95, and then Boreham Wood with 90.
Still a
Drop off.
lot.
It's crazy.
Wow.
11-point difference, basically.
Yeah,
Absolute madness, really.
Wow.
But yeah, unreal.
Speaking of madness, we've got two really contrasting games in the Champions League this week. Now, I didn't see either, but we have something called Paramount Plus here in the US, and it has like full match replays. So at when I've got some downtime, when I've got a quiet moment, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch PSG Bayern Munich, because from all accounts, it was a mental game with both teams just absolutely gunning for it. It's 5-4 in the end, but weren't PSG up 5-1 at one point? Is that right?
5-2. 5-2. It was
5-2.
3-2 PSG at half time, and then Kvaratskhelia and Dembele scored 2 within 2 minutes to make it 5-2. And then Upamecano scored a header from a free kick, and then Luis Diaz scored an absolute it was just a worldy goal. Like, Kane played him over the top. He took a ridiculous touch with the outside of his foot, put Marquinhos on his arse, and then buried it. But the standard, I was actually listening to just some pundits, and they were saying, like, is it really good attacking or poor defending? I think it's probably a bit of both, but you couldn't stop some of those goals. Like, even the Kvaratskhelia first one, I think you're trying to send him down the line, but I think but the moment he jinks inside, he doesn't need any space, and he just whipped it into that far corner. Like, Neuer, bless him, in goal, looked about 50 years old when he dived to it. But
there was some stat about Neuer about how he's the keeper to concede 4 or more times the most in the Champions League. He's got like that unwanted record. I think it's like 4 or 5 times he's conceded 4+ goals, which isn't a great record. But
I think those front threes, I think those two teams, front threes, are the best in the world by an absolute country mile. Like, obviously you got Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, and then Kane, Diaz, Elise. Like, it is frightening.
Kane, Diaz, and Elise is the one that's surprising to me. Not so much Kane, obviously, because he's like an unbelievable striker. But I saw some mad stat the other day that they've scored more goals this season, the three of them, than Messi, Neymar, and Suarez used to do at Barcelona. So they've overtaken.
Yeah, they've scored over 100, I think, now between them, the three of them this year. But I just think, I was chatting to Butler the other night about like Eze and Elise. Like, who thought Elise would go on to do these things? I think it just actually shows. It shows, I think, that the Prem is so competitive and physical, and I think players like Elise aren't allowed to show their sort of exuberance because you've got so many athletes around them. Whereas like the German league, I'd say it's probably slightly less intense, but he's obviously been allowed to absolutely express himself. And oh my God, some of the things he's doing, I just think that French team in the World Cup is absolutely
stacked.
Frightening.
And Luis Diaz as well. Like, that's also one that surprised me, because when Bayern Munich were in for him, he's 29 and they paid a lot of money for him, didn't they? And I was thinking, like, Liverpool have got a good deal there. Because, he's a good... I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I didn't think he was worth 80 million or whatever they paid for him. But he's also absolutely flourished in Germany. And there was not that much fanfare when he left, because Liverpool were like... they were getting Ekitike in, they were getting Isak in, they were like completely revamped. They were spending loads of money, that the Luis Diaz thing almost was forgotten because of all the incomings. He wasn't really like...
Yeah.
And then Gakpo has just pretty much stunk out that left wing most of the season, hasn't he? And they haven't had a true Luis Diaz replacement, actually. And you can see that Liverpool have suffered because he's such a quality player and he comes up with such amazing moments like he did the other day. But yeah,
like, you'll see the goal when you look at it. Like the way he took it, just not many people would have been able to score the goal. It was frightening. But and I think I was chatting to some of the boys at work. Like, if I had a grand spare, I think I would have put it on over 3.5 or over 4.5 without a shadow of doubt. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
I would have been watching that first half. Like, I think it was just two attacking powerhouses going up against each other. Like, that is what football should be.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, conceding for the defensive, but a lot of those goals you couldn't really do a lot about. And it was just pure attack, like end-to-end stuff, like all at the Champions League. It's actually a shame that's not the final, to be honest,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
at the other semi-final, as we talk about now, like tough watch. And actually,
Yeah.
Arsenal, I thought, were unlucky because I think there's a pen that was given and then disallowed. I think if he gives it on field, it has to be a penalty. And how they've given a penalty for that Ben White one as well. Like Atletico was so lucky. They gave one like it in the PSG game on Alphonso Davies.
Yeah.
Balls gets hit at you. It hits their leg, then hits their hand. How was that a handball?
That's such a ridiculous rule, and it happened a couple seasons ago when Newcastle were in the Champions League playing PSG. It like bounced off Livramento's thigh and then went onto his arm. And I just think with a ricochet or a deflection like that, like you absolutely cannot punish it as much as you do. Like that cost us qualification in the Champions League.
Yeah, it's like that Atletico one though. That if you actually. I don't know if you've actually seen the Ben White one. Like it hits his leg and his arm's just down by his side and it ricochets onto his arm.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do with your arm?
Yeah.
Like
if it doesn't hit his leg, it's not going to hit his arm.
Yeah.
It's just obscene. It's obscene. But Alvarez, to be fair to him, buried it. He's another one who's really, really. He was class at City, but oh my god, he looks a different animal at Atletico. Like I thought Arsenal did all right, though, to stay in it. I thought Eze made a massive difference coming off the bench just for a bit more creativity. But 1-1, they probably will take going into the Emirates.
Good result. So who do you think is favourite to reach the final then? Do you think Bayern Munich are going to... I mean, it's only a 1-goal lead for PSG. So do you think Bayern Munich are going to win in Germany and Arsenal are going to win in England to have Bayern Munich, Arsenal?
I think... I really hope, actually, Bayern gets that final. I just think... They thoroughly deserve it. To be fair, PSG are turning it on, but I do think they'll turn that round. And I think Arsenal, I'm a bit worried because I'm just afraid they're going to shut up shop.
Yeah.
And just try and take the game as long as it goes. Whereas I think Atletico will just come and go for it. And if Arsenal aren't on the front foot against them, I do fear for them. But I really would, again, love them to get to the final because I do think they do deserve it this year. Although they've shat themselves a bit in the past couple of months. I think it's a lot of players look like they just don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah.
That's where like Eze is so good coming on because he'll take it on the half turn. Like he'll take it in areas where he's got a lot of pressure. Because if I don't know if you saw his interview after he scored against Newcastle, he was basically like, I'm not necessarily nervous because like you live for these situations. Like why would we not want to be in this position? Like lads are nervous, but like we're absolutely thrilled to be here. Let's just enjoy it. Absolutely embrace it. So I do hope they go for it a bit because I do feel if they sit back, they're just going to get picked off by Atletico.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think Arsenal. Yeah, it's such a tough contrast. Well, it's a huge contrast. Like PSG and Bayern Munich, two very free flowing teams.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, you've got Arsenal and Atletico, who are actually quite similar in the way they approach the game. Like I don't know if you saw Simeone's quotes. He's like, when it's 5-4, everyone's like, wow, what a great advertisement for football. But I'm personally thinking like we conceded 5 and I don't want to concede 5. Like he's very much of the mindset that like I prefer a 1-0 over a 5-4. Whereas then you've got like Kevin Keegan who prefers a 4-3 over a 1-0. So I don't know. I think Arsenal have got enough quality to beat Atletico, especially at the Emirates. I do think they play such a brand of football now where the handbrake is like on and they're not fully expressing themselves. So as soon as they like let go of that, they can really hurt teams. But yeah, I'm personally rooting for a Bayern Munich Arsenal final. I think that would be quality to watch.
Agreed.
Because Charlie would be Charlie and all the boys in our league would be very happy if Arsenal won silverware, and they know what's at stake. Because if anything, if they don't end up the season with anything, then everyone's going to call them bottle jobs, and I don't necessarily think that's fair.
That would be tough. It'd be tough to come back as an Arsenal fan next season if they don't win anything. Like it would be tough. But I really do hope. I've said it throughout the season. Like I'm not an anti-Arsenal fan at all.
No, not at all.
Really, really refreshing them coming through. Like it was nice to see Saka back last night as well. Coming off the bench, I thought, he just made a difference anyway. Like not that he did much, but just an outlet. Do you know what I mean? Just like he's given the ball, he's gonna create something rather than sort of, do you know what I mean? Just giving it to, I don't know, whoever's playing right wing at the moment. They're not really doing anything, to be honest. Like, so I hope Saka can sort of
play
help
himself
them out
into
for the rest.
form for the World Cup as well. Nice and fresh for the World Cup. Right, we will be right back after this short break where we'll dive into the head-to-head league and the key battles. Welcome back to the Sonny and Cher pod. Right, before we get into the key battles, we have some official news, and that is Jennings has been relegated. He joins Charlie and Gazzy T in three that have confirmed down. There's one more who's absolutely on the brink, and that is Andy Farmfield, barring an absolute miracle point haul, given the points difference between Alex and Andy. So it could all come down to points difference. But yeah, bye Tom. Rip. Good effort this year, Tom, but it wasn't enough, and you'll be rebuilding in Div 2 along with Charlie and Gareth's not going to be with us, but you two will be the base point for Div 2 next season. And then we've also got the 8 playoff places confirmed, right? Which I actually don't have in front of me, but let's look real quickly. It's going to be myself, Matt, Dan, Sam, Mike, Stu, Lewis, and Trav as the official playoff contenders. That means that Rafaro, Connor, Fraser, and yourself miss out, Siege, although that was confirmed a couple of weeks ago. And then finally, the league winner is all but confirmed due to points difference. That's me. So I'm on 72 points. And then Matt is second with 69 points, although I've got over 100 points more than him overall. So I'd have to lose my game and he'd have to win his final game before the playoffs by an outrageous score to overtake me. So mathematically, 99%, I am the league winner. I'm very, very happy.
Yeah.
And then the relegation battle goes down to the wire between Jordan, Alex, Luke, Trotty and Farney. So some massive updates there at the business end of the season. Right, let's get to the key battles because some of these are quite funny and they've kind of shaped the league. So first up is Luke versus Rafaro. It was Adama Dry Your Eyes with 79 points versus Hotel Tiago with 23 points. So a bit of a juxtaposition there. Luke's great run of form, in which he won 3 in a row, was brought to a shuddering halt this week as Rafaro trounced him by more than 50 points in an absolute demolition job. Luke's cause was not helped by the fact that he had 4 players blanking this week, with Cherky in his starting 11 and his bench filled with the likes of Haaland. Captain Thiago also didn't help his cause, blanking in the match against Manchester. And in fact, Luke took a 4-point hit to try and win this one. Mukiele and Rice coming in for Timber and Palmer. However, those transfers got off to a disastrous start, with Sunderland defender conceding 5 goals in Friday night's game against Forest. That was a bit of a shock result, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mukiele hauled precisely 0 points, and Rice didn't fare much better. It was only really Raya that returned for Luke, who got 10 of his 23 points.
Jesus Christ.
I saw quite a few boys transferring in Sunderland defenders. There was Alderete came in quite a bit, Mukiele's come in quite a bit. And I do just wonder have they got fixtures or something? They got not much to play.
No.
I don't really understand why I'm seeing some influx of Sunderland
I just had him in Alderete in my team. I had to fucking play the bastard. And then they were 4-0 down after half hour. I was like, cheers for coming then.
In contrast, Raro scored the highest game week score of the league this week with a very, very effective free hit, where all of his midfield picks shone really brightly. He had Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Elliot Anderson, and Gibbs White. 44 points between just the 4 of those. And again, I don't know, that is such a shout for the free hit. I'm going to choose Morgan, Gibbs White, and Anderson away to Sunderland, and I'm also also going to choose
I know, great shout. What a shout.
Casemiro.
Casemiro.
Like,
so good.
To be fair, Casemiro has been in good form because he's been getting in the end of free kicks and stuff. So that was a decent punt. But the Anderson and Gibbs White one, like Gibbs White is in frightening form at the moment. I think it's like 6 goals in his last 7 games, and then there's a few assists and shit in there as well. So, and it didn't stop there for Rafaro. He also went for Bowen, who chipped in with 10. Pedro Porro chipped in with 8. Gabriel hauled 8. Rounded off with some nice DEFCON from Virgil van Dijk to complete a comfortable victory. But despite the win, due to results elsewhere, Rafaro is mathematically unable to reach the playoffs, but will surely reflect on a great first season in the league. He's still in the hunt for overall points, that title, and is currently second in the league for that. So he's on 2,026 points. And I'm on 2,072 points, so there's less than 50 points in it. And I'm at 79-point free hit is put him right up there. I'm going to be honest. I'm doing some very nervous calculations that he's going to overtake me in this final stretch, because I'm planning to take my first minus points for the playoffs, because my game against Nixie upcoming is dead rubber. But if I'm only 50 points, less than 50, it's like 49 or something like that, or 47. And then if I take like a 16 or 20 point hit to prep myself for the playoffs, there's only 30 points in it. And there's, 4 or 5 games to go. Rafaro is very much in with a shout of taking the overall point tally, which is just pretty amazing for his first season with Sonny and shit. I know he's a seasoned fantasy player, but that is really, really good. Really, really impressive.
Yeah, he's doing well.
I think he's done really well not to make the playoffs when you consider that Rafaro's on 2,026 points in 9th, and then above him, Trav made the playoffs with 1,840. So Rafaro's outscored him across the season by almost 200 points, and yet finds himself in mid-table, languishing in 9th. So yeah, that's massively unlucky, I think. And
he's done well.
For Luke, on the other hand, he had 3 wins, and that sort of like 23 points that he got does not help him in this fight at all.
He was on. Did you watch that United game? How the fuck Thiago hasn't scored a goal in that game is beyond me. Like,
I know.
He missed 2 sitters. He missed literally a tap in from a yard.
Yeah.
And then he went through 1-on-1, and then he stacked it.
I was going to say,
what the hell is he doing?
His XG from that game was so low, even though he got himself into really good positions, because he kept falling over. He kept just fucking falling. Right. And so
it's one of the back posts. One of the back posts, like, Shaw didn't even touch it. And I don't know what he did. He tried to go at it with his left foot and just missed it.
Mad.
Because that would have sorted me out as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously I got battered by Mike, but like if Thiago had got a brace, I'd have been right in the mix.
so would have Luke, because Luke captained him. Well, actually,
I think one of them actually, Dango slipped him through, and he was clean through, and then he stacked it. I was like, oh my god!
And you're like, you're rubbing your hands because you got both. You're like, I'm going to get the assist.
I got both. I was like,
goal. Yeah,
it's those fine margins in fantasy, but fair play.
Yeah.
Well done, Rafaro.
Well done, Rafaro. I think he's definitely in with a shout for the overall points. Moving on to Connor versus Nixie was the next one. It was Cucurella eats paella for 34 versus Dip Your Toast in with 29. So this is an interesting one because Nixie's, I don't know if he's taking his eye off the ball or if he's just he's keeping his powder dry for the playoffs. His stuttering end to the season continues with a 3rd straight loss as he limps across the finish line, losing by 5 points to Con. And seems to have missed the deadline because I think he captained Haaland, and then his vice captain was luckily Bruno F, so he did get the points. But there was a couple of lads this week actually who both captain and vice captain were both blanking. So we've got some really funny scores. I mean, you talk about Rafaro with 79, and you look at the other end of the table as someone like Nick who got 15 points, and you're just
so good. That is so good. Tears at that one.
So yeah, I mean, Nixie there got 29 points, which is very, very low. Bruno F was 10 of those, and then Gabriel was 8 of those with his clean sheet and bonus points. So that was as good as it got. sixth lowest score of the week, and he may have some concerns around Anthony Gordon in midfield, who was injured and failed to make the bench against Arsenal amid heavy transfer speculation. So I don't know if you've seen it, Siege, but there's a lot of linking Gordon with Bayern Munich, which is also a massive surprise for me. Yeah, apparently Bayern Munich has been talking to Gordon's camp. They've agreed personal terms. They just haven't agreed a fee with Newcastle. And I suppose in many ways that move kind of makes sense, because if you've got Diaz coming towards the end of his, 30, so he's still got a good few years in, and he might be older than that, actually, 30, 31. But if they need depth on the left wing.
I think he suits them.
Yeah.
I think he suits them.
I think it's one of those where it suits both parties, because we bought him for 40 odd mil and everyone was like, that's a massive overpay. He actually did very well in his first full season for us, and has gone off the boil, really, I'd say, over the last 18 months. So if Bayern Munich came in with like a 75 million pound offer, I think Newcastle would be happy with that. And then Bayern Munich would be happy with that. And you might see, in the same way we were talking about Diaz and Elise, like really flourishing in the German league, probably the same thing with Gordon. Gordon might start putting up serious numbers. But yeah, we'll see about that one. What do you reckon?
That isn't. Yeah, I think like you said before, like he suits that style of football. I think he probably would suit Company's style of play as well out there. Like I do rate him as a footballer. Like he's obviously a good footballer, because he's actually done well in that number 9 position for you this year as well. So like it does take someone with a decent amount of football IQ and ability to be able to play across the front three. Like, there's not many people like his size and his stature that could actually do well in that 9. So I think it could be a great move for him. Like you said, if you get sort of 60, 70 for him, you'll probably be happy, really. Yeah. But again, for you boys, it's whether you invest it correctly or not.
Yeah. We had a good track record, I'd say, up until last summer, and then it's all gotten a bit pear-shaped. But anyway, back to the key battles. So Connor, just like Rafaro, can consider himself highly unlucky to miss out on the playoffs in his maiden season with Sonny and Cher. So him, myself, and Rafaro are the top 3 overall point scorers this year, but only one of those has made the playoffs in a cruel ending to the season for the newbies. So both Rafaro and Connor are 7 ranks behind in the head-to-head league compared to overall points. As in, how do I explain this? So Connor and Rafaro are 8th and 9th, is it?
Second and third, I think.
9th and 10th in the league, but 2nd and 3rd for points. So yeah, really, really cruel for both those guys. While Nixie is sneaking into the playoffs despite being the 7th highest scorer of points in the league this season. So Connor made 2 changes for this one. Rice and Alderete, again, it's that Sunderland defenders coming in, for Semenyo and Hill, who were both blanking this week, but it was only really Rice that contributed to Connor's narrow victory. And again, Connor's 3rd in overall points, and sits on 2009 as we head into the final 4 weeks of the season. 67 points behind myself. So he needs a monster week, 1 or 2 weeks to have a chance, but anything could happen, especially if I take that points hit. There you go. Massively unlucky.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Nixie, like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if he's planning something.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Just like writing this week off with the blank, saving a few transfers. I'm a bit surprised he didn't change the captaincy, but I think
that is a red flag.
Yeah, that is a red flag, the Haaland captaincy, definitely. But I think he's probably saving a few transfers and just setting up that team for, because as he's always said, he doesn't give a shit about overall points. He's in it to win it, sort of thing.
To win the playoffs,
But no, Connor's done so well. Like, it's mad that it just shows how volatile head-to-head is. Like, the 2 boys that are sitting behind you are 9th and 10th and not even in the playoffs is absolute madness to me. It's crazy.
He's gone on a mad one as well. He's won his last 4 games. He's won 4
He's been really good
games on the trot, and he's only got 10th place to show for his efforts. yeah, I'm sure he'll be back next year for more.
Yeah, he's been
Suffering. Moving on to our next key battle was Trav versus Farney. So Bouncing with Barco, 39 points versus Shrimp on the Varby, 30 points. So this was a matchup that confirmed two things: Trav's place in the playoffs and Farney's, well, all but confirmed Farney's relegation to Div 2. So this result had massive implications on the league. And Andy, unfortunately, has no one but himself to blame for the hole he's dug himself into, surely being caught out by the early deadline, because he captained Haaland for the blank game week, and Rice was his vice captain.
Jesus
Against
Christ.
Newcastle, and only returned him 4 points. So I've got a massive feeling that he got caught out by the Friday game. Bruno Fernandes, Nico Williams, and Raya contributed 20 of his 30 points, but that was about as good as it got. Because he's got like Ekdal, Welbeck, 3 Man City players, and Enzo, who all did not feature this weekend. So probably wrote it off as a loss. So that result leaves him in the precarious position of 21st with 37 points overall. He's only 3 points from safety. However, he sits on 1,763 points against Alex, and Alex has 1,899 points in 18th. So barring a 136 point swing this week, Andy is down regardless of whether he wins or not in the final game week before the playoffs. Trav, on the other hand, has won 2 and drawn 1 of his past 5 fixtures, enough to get him into the playoffs once more. Was Trav in the playoffs last year as well? He was, wasn't he?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't think
he was.
Oh, was he not? I feel like he's always
No,
up
I
there.
don't think so. Yeah.
He's
fucking spawny this year.
He's secured a top 8 finish and is one of 4 managers on 61 points. So depending on how the next week goes, he can finish as high as 5th, I think. 3rd and 4th are probably out of the question due to overall points, because he's not going to catch Nixie or Smithy. But yeah, well, a great season for Trav, hitting the playoffs. Top 8 finish. I know you're, lamenting his luck and how jammy he's been this year, and not without good reason, because he's got a luck score.
Even that game, let's be honest, 39.
Yeah,
and
39 to 30.
Against 30. I'd have beaten both of those lads. I'd have beaten both of those lads. I'd have beaten Nixie and Connor as well, and I'd have beaten Luke. What was your
final score?
40 in the end. I got. I
40,
think. I don't know what was the actual game week. The game week, so I was 12th in game week scores, so midway. So I would have beaten 12 other lads.
Yeah. There's some real contrasting scores when you look at the top of the end of the table. Rafaro and Matt with 79 and 60.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Scroll all the way to the bottom. You got the likes of Peaks with 21, Nick with 15. I guess that's like, just goes to show you how many people, like how badly some people planned for this little blank here, following on.
Yeah.
And how some people are phoning it in at this point in the season. Moving on to the final game, I won't dwell too long on this because Butler isn't here, so I can't rub it in his face. But it was Dunk Your Busquet versus Liver Mentally Ill, won 47 to 35. So I needed to win 1 out of my 2 final games to confirm top spot. Luckily, I met a very obliging opponent in the form of Alex, who had something like 8 players out for this one due to the blanks for many teams. He desperately tried to make it competitive, bless him, by taking a -8 to cobble together a starting lineup. And then he gambled on Watkins as captain. However, the Villa striker blanked, and the matchup was all but decided, with only Anderson's 95th minute goal against Sunderland keeping him in within a shout. Meanwhile, I used a free transfer to bring in Xavi Simons, which was a total failure of an experiment, as the Spurs midfielder was forced off in his side's 1-0 victory over dead rubber Wolves, and is now out for the rest of the season. So waste of a transfer, that. Well done, Ben. But yeah, that pretty much confirmed me top spot. And again, it's like a low scoring game. I got 47 points against 35. Some grim stats there. I'll just read off the rest of the results. So, Siege, you got 40 points, but you came up against Mike, who got 61. He did a free hit, didn't he, old Mikey?
Yeah, he did. Good free hit. Good free hit, to be fair to him. Was a good free
not
hit.
bad. He captained Salah. Salah was also taken off injured, so you would have been.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
In for a little bit of a shout, but yeah, in the end, it was a comfortable victory for Mike. Asi lost to Matt, 65-51, despite Matt taking an 8-point hit for that one, which is
did he? Wow.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I think Matt is also one eye on the playoffs rather than going for the title, which is fair enough. And then Fraser beat Jennings 59-38 to confirm Tom's relegation. Balf beat a miserable score by Peaks, 38-21. Iffy absolutely smashed our boy Gaz, who has 5 City players. Gaz, he only managed a grand total of 22, and he's another one. I think captain was Haaland, and then vice was Semenyo, so just like missed it completely. Mad. Dave beat Trotty by the smallest of margins, 43-41. So that is particularly galling for Trotty, because Trotty's only lost that one by 2 points, and that keeps him in 20th place when he badly needed the points. He's 1 point from safety. So again, if Alex loses his game next week and Troy wins his, then Troy's going to leapfrog Alex, and Alex might get relegated. So
good.
Let's see what happens there. And then Andy Jackson. Andy Jackson could have done nothing and won this. He smashed Nick 47-15. Nick with the lowest score of the week. There.
Do you know what? It's actually impressive to get 15 points. It's actually impressive to do that.
Yeah, we'll have to bring up Nick's team. And then just to round it off, Charlie is desperately scrabbling around to try and buy himself a win. I think he took a -12 this week, and fortunately it did not pay off for him. He captained Ollie Watkins. He got 27 points, whereas Jordan got a comfortable 44.
-12. Like, what is he doing?
What are you doing when you need the points, really?
Yeah,
it's just crazy. But I think he's just trying to avoid. All he needs to do is finish above
Gazzy.
Yeah.
Who have they got next week? Actually, who have they got? We'll go into that.
Yeah,
we'll go into that in a sec, I suppose, won't we?
But that rounds off the key battles. Now, before we look at next week's fixtures, we're going to make a announcement for Manager of the Month, which is usually Alex's segment, but we'll try and do it. We'll try and do it justice. Do you want to take this one, Siege?
Yeah, go on then, mate. So, as Alex said last week, there was quite a few managers in with a shout points-wise, but it was between 4, realistically. It was Connor, Mike, Smithy, and Fraser, who all actually so they were in with a shout last week, and then they all won again this week. So they were the 4 managers that came forward for this week's Manager of the Month, because it's done on wins first, then points. So in 4th place was Smithy with 176 across the 3 games, averaging 58.6. Very good. 3rd then was Connor with 211, averaging 70.3 across the 3 games in April. 2nd was Fraser, who's had an absolute resurgence at the back end of the season. He came 2nd with 221 in the 3 games with an average of 73.6. But 23 points ahead of those 3 was Mike, who wins this month's Manager of the Month with 244 points through 3 games in April, averaging 81.3 per game. I know it was helped by that 125 point in a double game week, but fair play, Mike. Like, he's been unreal, and to be fair, like he kept his free hit for this week against me and used it really, really well. To be honest, he had Gibbs, White, Bowen. Like, he went through a lot of players, it looked like, but ended up Gibbs, White, and Bowen were the ones that absolutely killed me off. So fair play to Mike. But Fraser,
congratulations,
well
Mike.
done. Well done as well. But I think Smithy's already won it. Has Connor won it as well out of those?
Yeah, Connor's won it once, I think, and Smithy's
So
won it
Connor,
once.
Smithy, and Mike now.
Mm.
So I think Manager of the Month's been great this year. Like it's been passed around a lot, and I know Butler wanted to let everyone know that Manager of the Month in May is going to be done on total points, so not on wins, because we've only got one real game left before the playoffs start. So everyone is in with a shout. It's all points, so it'd be good if someone who hasn't won it again. I think you're probably the only person who's won it multiple times. Are you, Ben? Maybe?
Yeah, I
This
won
year?
it twice.
And that was the first two, wasn't it, of the season?
Yeah, it was the first 2 months. I don't think anyone else has got it twice this year. Could be wrong, but that is frightening, isn't it? 81 points over,
incredible,
as an average over April. So he's coming into form at just the right time. He's been like the silent assassin, like he was last year.
He has
Doesn't say
slipped under
much,
the radar, really has.
yeah, taking point hits each week and then just smashing it out. So that's probably like, I keep thinking back to what Nixie and Peake said, that the person they most look, to in the playoffs is Mike, because he's holding a lot of chips. He's hitting good form, and we'll see what happens. But congratulations, Mike, for Manager of the Month. Don't forget to ping us your bank details, and we'll send you the 15 quid. So yeah, congratulations, and unlucky to the rest of the lads, although it wasn't really that close in the end.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't mad.
Only Fraser within touching distance of Mike. But yeah, right. So for the key battles next week, we've got Alex Butler versus Andy Jackson. That's a massive game. So Alex really needs to win that to have control of his own destiny, really, doesn't he?
Definitely does.
And that's a tough opponent because Andy's had a really good season. He's comfortable in mid-table, and he has, where's he gone? Well, he's 17 wins and 17 losses, so he's a 50-50 man. He's won his last 2, but before that he lost his last 3. So you could either say that, he's gathering momentum and he's looking for his 3rd straight win. Meanwhile, Alex also only has 2 wins from his last 5 games. So that's going to be a really tough one. I'd love to get a little peek into Butler's mindset about this, to whether he's nervous or
what
not.
what has he got planned? Like,
what has he got planned? What is he thinking?
They've got 7 shared players currently, which are pretty much the whole, like Raya, Virgil van Dijk, Gabriel, Bruno, Anderson, Semenyo, Haaland. So it'd be really, really interesting to see what Butler does. Like his differential players look pretty good, to be fair, just looking at them now. Like Watkins, Thiago, Gay, Darlow, Ryan, Wilson, like, looks pretty good to me.
Yeah.
We'll see what he does. See what he
fancy Butler for this then?
Yeah, he normally overthinks fucking everything, so it'd be hilarious. He'll probably take a 20-point hit or something to get lads
in. Next up, we've got Dassey versus Trotty. So Dassey's sitting comfortable in 15th, and we'll be very glad this year that he's not danger of building the trophy to stop the rot of 2 straight years building it. Again, that's massive for Trotty. So if Trotty wins and Alex loses, Trotty can overtake Alex. But it does depend on what Luke does. Luke is currently sitting in 19th between Butler and Trotty, and Luke is playing Trav. Now, Trav is guaranteed for the playoffs. Might be, one eye on the playoffs, so Luke could try and take advantage there. Ooh. So Luke needs to win. It's the bottom 6 that gets relegated, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes. Bottom 6.
So Luke is currently occupying the 6th and last spot, in 19th place on 40. He's on level points with Alex. And then we've got Trotty there in 20th on 39. Basically, Alex just needs a win. To match Luke. Alex just needs to match whatever Luke does. So even if Luke loses or draws, as long as Alex does the same, I think he's clear. But if Alex loses and either Luke or Trotty win, that means Alex goes down. It's going to the final day of the season. And then to round off the key battles, it is Jordan versus Matt. Jordan is very comfortably mid-table, isn't he? Unless I'm mistaken.
No, he's 17.
Ah.
He's 17. So if he loses, and Butler and Luke both win, he gets relegated.
He gets relegated. I see. And Matt will probably again is confirmed for the playoffs. Can't
Guaranteed
finish
second.
Guaranteed second. Yeah, can't finish first. Can't fall to third. So probably is not thinking too much about this upcoming week. Might take some minus points for the playoffs. So actually, yeah, if Jordan wins
Let's just shout out though. Let's just shout out the fixture that it's not a key battle, but it should be. Charlie Milson in 24th against Thomas Jennings in 22nd.
Oh,
let's be honest. If Charlie loses, he's building the trophy, and Gazzy T is playing Mike. So let's be honest. Gazzy T is lost. So is Jennings going to do one over on Charlie and make him build the trophy? That is an absolute epic. I cannot wait to hear the voice notes pinging round. Like, it made me laugh that if just for our listeners, Charlie actually sent Smithy a voice note this week telling him to beat Dave or whoever he was playing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Smithy won. He absolutely battered. Gazzy T he was playing. Absolutely hammered Gazzy T for Charlie. Then Charlie takes a 12-point hit. Like, what is he up to?
We've got to look how many
points. Gone, obviously.
Yeah, head is gone. How many points better off was Charlie from taking that 12-point hit? Did he actually gain anything from that? Let's have a look.
Good question. Have a look.
So no, his hit cost 12 points.
-3. -3 was.
-3.
-3. Wouldn't have done anything, to be fair, but
wouldn't have done anything. Yeah.
The funny thing is, he put Semenyo in for Cunha, who didn't even play, and then for Bruggen, then he put Rufs in for Bruggen, who conceded 5.
And that was after captaining Verbruggen.
Lads.
Oh dear. Right, that rounds off our key battle previews and our key battle write-up. After the break, we'll be back with CJ's game.
Welcome back to the Sonny and Cher pod. Not going to do our normal game this week as Butler's not here, but I'm going to trial a new little game with you, Ben. Okay?
Ooh.
So this is how it's going to work. I've got a player written down here, okay? And what you're going to do, I'm going to give you 2 minutes and you can ask me questions, but I can only answer yes or no.
Oh, God.
So you bit like 20 questions. There's no limit on the questions, though, however. You need to ask me questions to see if you can guess the player, okay? I've got 3 here. We'll maybe do this one and one more. But, yeah.
So you've got 3 players?
No, sorry, I've got 1. I've got 3, so we might do 3, but I think we'll do this one and another one. So I've got 1 player written down, and I will start the timer.
I was going to say I've got a little timer here. So I've got a 2-minute timer to ask as many questions as I can to identify.
2-minute timer. Yeah. All I can answer is yes or no.
Yes
or
no.
All right.
Okay.
You ready?
Jeez.
Right.
Yeah.
3,
okay. Right.
3, 2, 1. Off you go.
Is he retired?
Yes.
Did he play in England? Did he play in England for the majority of his career?
Yeah.
Did he play for more than 3 clubs?
What, in the Prem?
Yeah.
No.
Well, okay. So retired, played for less than 3 clubs, and it was mainly career based in England. Okay. Oh God. Okay. What else can I ask? Is he a striker?
No.
Is he a midfielder?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he English?
No.
Is he European?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's not Brazilian. He's not like South American. He's European. Is he French?
No.
Is he Belgian?
No.
Is he a top 6 player? Is he a mid?
Yeah.
Is he a top 6? Top 6.
Yeah.
Club.
2 top 6 clubs.
Non-Belgian. 2. I've got 40 seconds. 2 top 6 clubs. Okay.
Yeah.
My God, I'm going to just have to start throwing out names, aren't I? Is he Dutch?
No.
Is he capped at an international level?
Yeah.
Probably is if he's a top 6 player.
Yeah.
What do I ask that for? Okay, I'm just going to start. I've got 20 seconds. I'm going to
Yeah, 2
start throwing
seconds.
names out. Yakubu.
No. He's a midfielder.
Oh God, I forgot. Jordan Henderson. No, he hasn't retired.
No.
Kevin De Bruyne probably also hasn't retired, and also he's not Belgian. And he's not French. Did you say? And he's not Dutch. He's
3,
Portuguese.
2, 1.
No.
Time.
Ah.
You said all the nationalities apart from this bloke's nationality. If you'd have
What
got
was it?
Spanish, he was Spanish.
Spanish. Oh.
Midfielder. Played for Chelsea and Arsenal.
Fabregas.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Right.
That is tough to think that.
It is tough, isn't it? It's tough. Yeah. We'll do one more. We'll do one more because it's actually, once you do it, you get the sort of hang of it, what to ask, because you need almost like a bank of questions to go, don't you?
Yeah. Well, do you want me to come up? Shall I do a player and you guess, or am I guessing again?
All right, go on then. Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay. Wait. I've got to come up.
I don't want like what's his name? That centre half that played for Newcastle. I didn't even fucking know. Like, what was his name? Like Cassady or something.
Yeah, Casapa. I don't even remember either. But yeah, let's do someone else. Let's do. All right, I've got one.
You got one, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All
right. I'm gonna wait. I need to reset the clock. Okay, are you ready? I'll count you down.
Yeah. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Is he retired?
No.
Is he playing the Prem now?
Yes.
Is he playing for a top 6 club?
No.
Is he playing? Is his club in London?
No.
Is his club up north?
No.
Is he play for Aston Villa?
No.
Does he play? Oh my God! Is he
hard,
on the South Coast? Is he on the South Coast?
Yes.
Does he play for Bournemouth?
Yeah. No, not Bournemouth. No.
Brighton.
Yes.
Is he a midfielder?
No.
Is he a striker?
Yes.
Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, well played. Did it in under a minute. Under a minute. That's where I went wrong. I didn't ask about location, like south or north. That completely changes things,
I don't know why I thought that. It just I started.
No, that's
London,
good.
I was like, oh fuck it, I'll do. No, that's good. Well, that'll be good. That'll be a good one to test Butler with as well. But I just saw it. I saw it done actually on another one, and it was like the lads just had a minute, and there was one bloke who was so good. He obviously had like questions that he was just rattling through, sort of thing. But
yeah. Oh, that's
quality,
good.
mate. We'll roll that one out with Butler. That would be hilarious. I'd love to go some fucking obscure players for him, but yeah, mate. That brings us to an end. Great ep again.
Yep. And I'm so keen. Week. Yeah, I could. It's for the first time I can sort of relax because it doesn't matter what happens with my game, so I can look at results and games elsewhere. So yeah, good shout on the Charlie one who's playing Jennings. I'm going to be watching that like a hawk. I'm also going to be watching Butler. Like I've got my eye on Butler and Charlie this week to see what they do. I sort of personally hope, for balance reasons, that Alex does get relegated, because then he can like be emotionally invested in Div 2. You see what I mean?
Div 2, yeah,
because otherwise the three of us are going to be reporting on both leagues, and the three of us are all going to be in Div 1 and not as invested in Div 2. So sorry about that. I sort of actually hope you do go down, just for balance purposes. And then I'm really, really keen to see who ends up building me a trophy, because I'm going to win.
I know. That's it.
All right, chaps. Thanks for listening, and may the fantasy gods not be with Butler.
See you next week.
Bye bye.
Dons are staying up, ole ole. Dons are staying up, ole ole. Dons are staying up. Dons are staying up. Dons are staying up, ole ole.